The other story that dropped around, of a similar sort of, timeline was the 243 veterans that had been deported to Mexico. Now, I did a little bit of research on this, which of course the article really didn't do. On average, there's 8,000 people a year that go through the United States military who, at the time of their military service, when they sign up, they are legal residents. Now, that might be a temporary residency, but to date, there's been over 150,000 people that have not been United States citizens that have served in the armed forces in the United States. Now, the armed forces, this was something that was done in 2002 when George Bush was president. Part of the reason that the law was changed where people at an old, who had legal status could basically go in is because they needed translators who were going into Iraq, Afghanistan, people that spoke the different dialects, and more so than that, also understood the people. So I remember when I was in basic training, I had somebody that I think was something like 38 or 42 years old who got waivers on everything because the normal cutoff was 29 or something. And they got like waivers upon waivers upon waivers to be able to go into, but they already knew their job was going to be a linguist, and I'm guessing probably without much schooling, or if it was just to teach them the format that they want things translated in. But they had a story out there, and it was 8 veterans that were standing there and saluting the American flag on the Mexican side, and there was some senator or representative who went out and visited them, and basically, his opinion was, and I quote, something that he had written, was that we feel like these people who served in the military should be granted citizenship, even though some of them probably didn't file their paperwork. So basically, again, it took a little bit of responsibility in a very passive way that they didn't file their paperwork. Again, not following procedure. Now, out of 150,000 people, it's naming 243 that have been deported to Mexico. And my question on that is, if the kind of things that will prevent you from getting citizenship, and especially if you're in the military, may very well be a dishonorable discharge. It could be a DUI. It could be a felony, and there's various reasons for felonies. My personal take on it, if there's 243 people, regardless of where they come from, out of 150,000 who committed crimes here or felonies, I'm happy with their ass being back wherever they started from. And if they didn't sit there and go through the necessary paperwork, which I, again, by the way, have to do when I move to Portugal in 3 months, I'm starting anew. I'm going to their country. I have to abide by and follow their rules and their regulations, not my own, because I think that my American citizenship or wherever the hell I come from trumps everything else when I go to some new place. That's not the way it works. And if it does work that way, after how long? 30 years and you haven't, applied for your citizenship papers? I've lived in Korea for 2.5 years. There's other people I knew that lived in Korea. When they lived in Korea, the last month that they were there, their bank would call, and their bank would tell them, basically, we see on your documentation you have a month left. If you don't pick this stuff up, we're basically closing your account, and you won't have access to it, or they're going to send it to an account here. Your cell phone company would call, and they would basically get on the phone, and they would tell you that your cell phone is going to be shut off, and you can't reactivate it. It's not like here where you can buy burner phones and, essentially not have it connected to yourself, which me personally I prefer, but, that's a side topic.